The Beijing Winter Olympics, they have begun, and get this, only 16 million people in total tuned in for the opening ceremony. That's down 43% from 2018. It is a record low viewership for an opening ceremony. Congressman Michael Waltz says NBC refused to air this ad, which is critical of China. Roll it.
The world's greatest athletic showcase. But just outside the show, rape, genocide, slave labor. American companies are drunk on Chinese dollars, entangled with communist dictators committing atrocities and propping up these genocide games staged by the Chinese Communist Party. And what can we do?
Stand for freedom. Defund the dictators. When you see made in China,
put it down.
And here he is, the man himself, Congressman Michael Waltz. Congressman, first of all, who put up the money for this? And secondly, on what grounds did NBC refuse to run it?
Yeah, thanks, Stu. I paid for it with my campaign monies. We reserved airtime actually tonight to run it this evening during the Olympics. And over the weekend, NBC came back and said, well, we're not necessarily refusing it, but we just want you to radically change the ad, eliminate all the company logos, and basically completely undercut the point of it. So that's a non-rejection rejection and a form of censorship. At the end of the day, we're going to keep calling these companies out. Like we said, they're drunk on Chinese dollars. They put aside any sense of morals and values. They know what's going on with 1 million Muslims in concentration camps.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I watched the ad several times, and it seems to me that that's the focal point. You're taking on those corporations which are actively sponsoring these winter games. You don't like it, and you want something done about it. I mean, do you think these companies will pay any kind of price?
Well, I think NBC's already paying a price, as you heard. I was just in a diner in North Florida, and somebody asked the waitress to put on the Olympic Games, and she said, we're not going to support genocide. So I think the American people have a conscience. They've gotten the message. And on top of covering up COVID, threatening our supply chain, and a military buildup where they're openly talking about taking on the United States, look, at the end of the day, I don't think we can trust these boards and CEOs to do the right thing. They preach woke social justice here, but they ignore it when it comes over there. So that's why we're taking the case to the American people. They're starting to vote with their wallets. And the ultimate point of the ad was, when you see made in China, put it down. It's not just a jobs issue. It's our health, welfare, and it's now our national security at stake.
When you see what's going on in China, and you see what's happening in Russia and Ukraine, I should say, who do you think poses the greatest threat to America? Is it China? Is it Russia?
Well, I think China's the long-term threat. Russia, obviously, the very near term. But at the end of the day, what China has done is they have every aspect of our society complicit and drunk on Chinese money. That's Hollywood, Wall Street, the NBA, sports, even our politicians. Even Nancy Pelosi has backed away. But what you saw in the Olympics was Xi and Putin standing side by side during the opening ceremony, sending the message to the world that there's a new sheriff in town, and it's not the United States and what we represent. It's their version of the China dream and the new Soviet Union that Putin wants to put together. That's not a world, Stu, that I want our kids and grandkids growing up in, and we need to take this stand now. And it's American companies fueling it all.
Got it. Congressman Michael Waltz leading the charge. Thanks very much for being with us today, sir. We do appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you.